So, when the Prophet Muhammad was asked, he says, if you believe that you have another God, if you think that mine is not a revelation, you try to produce one surah. Surah means one poem. One poem of ayat means one chapter. In Quran there are a number of chapters. Ayat is a chapter, surah is a chapter, ayat is a one poem, one verse. They say, if you can produce one ayat similar to that of Quran, then I can accept you. Nobody can produce. It is a beautiful Arabic. And people say, language-wise, Arabic, that Quranic Arabic is a very beautiful, very literary language, they say. Those who know Arabic, one should read Quran for sake of the beauty of the language. I am told it's a very beautiful language. So they say, can you produce a single poem like this? You can't do that. Then accept it is only revelation of God. We find it's very strange. You see, is it the proof of divine revelation? So this is how they talk. Then why one person, we told, he chooses arbitrarily without any qualifications. They say clearly, Prophet Muhammad doesn't have any extra quality. He only just revealed. And I too don't know. He just revealed and I accepted. Here, a rishi, there is no single person. God doesn't claim that I shall reveal to only one person. There were many rishis, there are rishis, there will be many. Any number of people can receive knowledge of God in Hinduism. There can be. We call certain people rishis, but even now, all the Jnanis, Shankaracharya, Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna, these are all rishis, we call them. Even now, any Jnani, we call them like a rishi, equal to rishi. Though we don't use the word rishi, they are as good as a rishi. We take their words like rishis, like words. You take the present Acharyas, Shankaracharyas, we respect their words because they are Anubhavagnya. Whoever have that Anubhava of Paramatma, we take their words like equal to rishi. So here, our rishis just received that knowledge and they share with us. Now they don't claim that I alone receive it and you don't receive it. Isn't it? And doesn't say that no other rishi can receive and I alone receive. Here one more interesting thing is, separated by centuries, one rishi received some message, some knowledge centuries ago. After some centuries, totally far removed from person, one rishi at Yajnavalkya or some rishi in North India, some rishi like Ramana Maharshi. Take for example Ramana Maharshi himself. Ramana Maharshi was not learned in Shankara Bhashyam and Vedanta. In his younger days, he got some vision and thereafter he left and went to Ramanashram. And then with that vision, whatever he got, with that alone, keep on meditating. He had a total faith and bhakti for Arunachala, Shiva. Shiva alone, he surrendered to himself and meditating, and then he found out Atma Jnana. And later, people started bringing books of Vivek Chudamani, Bhagavad Gita, Shankara Bhashyam. He found they are talking exactly what my Anubhava says. Ramana Maharshi himself says. So when Ramana Maharshi says, he talks exactly what Shankara Bhashya says, what Upanishad says. Now, have they consulted each other? Without any consult. Naturally, each one when he discovers, the discovery is coming out to be similar. There is no relationship. They don't know each other. It is not that he read Upanishads and repeating it. See, he has not even read Upanishads. But he found exactly same Anubhava. Therefore, our Anubhavas, our Jnanam, you can see anywhere it is the same. Centuries removed. Many rishis, they don't know each other. But he is talking the same thing. Therefore, if one rishi says, but here they say one prophet says, you don't know how far it is true. And it is not to be experienced in this life. You have to believe it throughout your life. After death alone, you will come to know that, how far it is true. So that simple point is, this is a separate topic, but just briefly I say here, that is that the very religion, idea of religion. Man falls. First man, that Adam falls. Because he disobeys God's word and he falls. Since all humanity is born of them, they are all sinners. It is not a sin, committed sin. You are all sinners for no reason. It is an inherited sin. And 2000, that happened, they say, 4000 BC. 4000 BC, world was created. And then Adam falling on, all this took place. Then after 4000 BC, that is just at the time of beginning of Christian era, Then Jesus appeared. Then they say, if you accept Jesus, you will be saved. What is that saving? I think I have to touch all this theology. That's why these are all interconnected topics. But briefly, I tell there is a separate topic of the very bondage and liberation and all that is a separate topic. But briefly, I tell now. So you fall, and then the liberation from the sin, no other way. Only you have to accept Jesus, then only you will be saved. Nothing else. However saintly person you are doing good thing, nothing works. Prophet Muhammad, Islam also says, you have to believe in Prophet as the only savior. So they say, only one Janma every person has. Briefly I tell, as I told you, one Janma every person is given. And then once you die, you will be put in that coffin box until the end of the world. Until the Pralaya day, the deluge they say. Until the end of the day, you will be in the coffin box alone. Then in the last day when the world comes to an end, then there is a heaven. At the gate of the heaven, God will be sitting on the chair. On the right hand of the side, according to Christianity, Jesus will be sitting. According to Islam, they say, Jesus was an old prophet. He is outdated now. God won't accept Jesus' recommendation. Only Prophet Muhammad has to sit. So if they are still quarreling, it is not settled. They are still quarreling. They say, you have to accept Jesus alone. Now, when all these people are revived means rejuvenated, they are brought to life. They stand in queue. Now the God will be only dummy God will be sitting there, because he has given away power of attorney to Jesus or even Prophet Muhammad. So Jesus recommends, this fellow has become Christian. He believed me. Okay, he will be sent to eternal heaven this side. Those who do not believe, eternal hell. What you have done, Punya Papa, your saintly activities, your prayerfulness, your selfless works, all that doesn't count. If you believe, that is enough. You will be sent to eternally hell. They say even now, your Krishna, Rama, Shankaracharya, everybody will go to hell because they have not believed Jesus. So, they say your saintly works don't work. Mahatma Gandhi, in his autobiography, when he was in England or South Africa, missionaries came to convert him. They asked, come to our Jesus, will save you. Gandhiji told, what is the point in just changing a name of a religion? In any religion, you have to purify your heart, become selfless, you have to give up your ego. Then that purity really brings the blessing of God, and then you will have a good life later. You know what that missionary told? You are a fool. You don't understand anything, he told. Purification, such a thing like purification doesn't exist. Giving up ego, giving up raga, dvesha, or hatred, love, all these things won't happen. Nobody will succeed ever. We are sinners. We are bound to be sinners. There is no way of giving up all this. Then only way is, in spite of your sin, if you believe in Jesus, he will recommend you there at the gate of heaven. You will go to heaven. That means a person commits a crime. At the time of punishment, going to the jail, you will be recommended. The salvation means you will be helped to escape the punishment. Not that your sin is removed. Sin will continue. You will be continuing to sin. They told, you continue to sin. Only thing is, the result of the sin you don't have to experience. Jesus will recommend. If you believe Jesus, he will recommend. So you will go to heaven. Permanent heaven. Eternal heaven. Those who do not believe, eternal hell. After writing this, Gandhiji says in his autobiography, I have underlined in my book. If you want, you can see that. I must have read, I think, more than 30 times that those passages. I read whole his autobiography of Gandhiji. Then after writing this, he says, that person, that missionary who came to me, as he said, he is living like that only. He tried to commit every sin possible and remained with a clean conscience without any guilt. No guilt feeling. Jesus is there on our behalf to save you. You commit every possible sin, have a clean conscience. Prophet Muhammad, coming to the Prophet Muhammad. One person comes to Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad told, if you believe me, I am the only prophet. I am the last prophet. Afterwards, no prophet will come. If you believe me, you will have a place in heaven. Otherwise, you will have eternal damnation, eternal hell. And then That person asked, do we have to believe you only? Then what about the people who passed away before you were born? So he told, what about my father? That person who came to Prophet Muhammad, he asked, what about my father? He told, your father is in hell. It is in Hadith, in his books. I can show you. It is in Hadith. He said, your father will go to hell. That fellow told, I won't join your religion at all. You are sending my father to hell. He is such a nice man, gentle man, saintly man. He has lived all his life in service of others. He never hurt anybody, never cheated anybody, never exploited anybody. Such a man, you are sending him to hell. Your religion is not acceptable. I won't join your religion. I will go away. Then that fellow turned back and going away. Prophet Muhammad calls him, hey, don't worry. My father also went to hell. Don't worry, come back. Now you see, what is that? So these prophets not only bring the truth, bring the message regarding the Jesus also. When before Jesus was born, people have been sinners. Then they all died now. Who will recommend them? Because to believe Jesus, there was no Jesus at all. Whom to believe? You know what they say? I had the book until recently. Somebody took it and did not return the book. I went to that missionary thing and then got this book. In that book he says, in the Bible there is no mention about it. What happens to the person who were born before Jesus? Who died before Jesus was born? What will be his fate? It is not mentioned. But we can say he will go to hell. Eternal hell. How is it not injustice? God should have sent his son, Savior, in the beginning of the creation. After creating the world, after 4,000 years he has to send. What was God doing? Is he sleeping? After 4,000 years, when many people died, now he sends Jesus to save the people. You know what they say? We cannot give you explanation, but you believe us now, and then after you die and go there, then you will be convinced that what I say is true. You understand the logic? Very strange. So these prophets not only bring the message, and they claim, bring the message Allah, they claim that God has revealed you. No proof. We don't know. You may be telling your own mind. You may not be intentionally telling. You see, sometimes I tell you an example. Sometimes we keep on imagining, thinking. We internalize certain ideas. Doesn't it happen? It happens in our life also. Certain ideas we internalize. We internalize so much that after some time when we sit in meditation, your own subconscious mind start retelling again. You think that, who is speaking to me? Something is appearing in my heart. I am not telling, something my heart is telling. Oh, it must be God. You start believing it. Mind can play this kind of game. Because I can't tell you all these details. I have met number of people. I talk to them. I talk to some people. They talk like that. One lady says, tears come from one side. This one side is Sitamma. It was a Telugu lady. One side is Sitamma, one side is my eye. So that Sitamma is speaking to me. All the she says, she is sitting in me and speaking to me. Then I understood this looks like all Bible only, Quran alone. It is a Hindu lady. I said, this looks like, I met number of women like that. Number of people, men, women, number of people I met them. But one thing about our people is, when God possesses, they say in villages, I was born a villager, I see them. On Paurnima, on Sundays, on Paurnima days, on Amavasya days, God comes to them. And that day people come to see them. If they are not well, if they have some trouble, some problem, they will tell. I asked some people, I must personally saw, I interviewed number of people also, village boys. They say, how will that lady or gentleman whom God possessed, what do they speak? They say, if you have some trouble, you go to this temple. You do 11 days, you go to this Shiva Mandira, 11 Somavaras, and means 11 Mondays, you do Pradakshina and do Namaskara and then break coconut and these things that. Some people say, you do 5 people, 10 people, poor people, Annadana. Your problem will go away. Some people say, you give some Vastradana. Some people say, you go to that Punya Kshetra and for any problem, they will do like these things. They don't say, go and kill the people. But these prophets, they say, God has told me to force you. If you don't accept, I can kill you. Because God has given me. Prophet Muhammad, earlier they told, see, God has spoken through me, you have to accept. And also asked me to make you to accept. He told that he will speak only through me. and asked me to tell you. And if you don't accept, he told that he can punish. And he gave me the right to punish you. What is the proof? God told me. If you are not believing, then there is a Satan in you. You are not accepting. You are not a believer of God. If you are a believer of God, God is speaking. Why don't you accept? Bible also says, are you a believer of God? If you are a believer of God, the same God is speaking through me. If you believed it, you would have understood that what I am speaking is God's word. You are not accepting. That means you are not a believer of God. You are a Satan believer. Oh my God. What a manipulation. See how they speak. So they say, in that preface, he says, in the beginning he threatened them. You see, Allah is speaking through me. If you don't accept, first they told those Arabian Muslims, the Arabian pre-Muslim Islamic days, those pagans told, you see, if God is speaking, okay, we leave it to you. But we have our own gods. We have our own saints. So they are guiding us and we are in a right path. We are following Dharma and etc., prayers and etc. Okay, we don't need it. If you have, you follow. Why are you imposing on us? He told no. In the beginning he softly told. Later he started condemning their gods, abusing their gods and idols. You are only stones, you are not gods, I am the only God speaking. They told, you see, we forgive you this time. You don't abuse our gods. They forgive. Again he says, I received a message from God, Allah, that I have got a right to abuse you. Therefore I am abusing. I have got every right. I am abusing you. You are on the wrong path. They told, if you do it, then they'll attack him. Now these people say, they people did not attack him in the first hand. When Prophet Muhammad started abusing their gods, they started attacking. Now whose is the mistake? Prophet Muhammad's or the Arabic, pre-Islamic Arabians? You can see clearly, brother. Now you see how he defends that preface writer, the translator, as well as the preface writer, that Pictol, he says. How he defends, Prophet Muhammad was following the message of Allah. He was not doing on his own. Therefore, even if he threatened them, even if he abused them, he was not doing on his own. He is only following Allah's word. How could he be wrong? Is it convincing to you or anybody? Therefore, revealed is a prophet. So, prophet not only claims that God has revealed knowledge to me, and he told that he will reveal to me, not to anybody else, only through one person. All other persons should get knowledge through me. And then I should tell you, and everybody must accept. This also he told me. If you don't accept, he has given me authority to punish you. And later after death to recommend. This is called intercession in their language, because I read their Bible and Quran through English only. Intercession they call, interceding, intervening. That means God recommends. That prophets or Jesus recommends. God accepts only their recommendation, no other's recommendation. Now, Namma Rishis, do they say that? I will recommend you. If you go to a Guru, does Guru say that I shall withhold you your moksha, even if you follow sadhana, even if you are a saintly man, if you don't accept me, don't believe me, I can recommend against you to God, and you will not be taken to heaven. So these prophets not only claim the message of God, but they also have an interceding power. They can withhold you, they can recommend you. Our rishis don't have any recommendation power. No guru has any recommendation power. In fact, we see the many stories of bhaktas, where sometimes guru is a very, very rude person, like our Ambarisha story of Bhagavata, everybody knows. See, Ambarisha, how he misbehaved. But God took side of Ambarisha, not side of Durvasa. Durvasa, became angry. Durvasa is a guru. Guru means a Brahmana came to as an Atiti. So even if a bhakta's sincere heart, God will accept. So Guru doesn't have any withholding or recommending. Guru or Rishis don't have. They will only reveal you. Revealing means what? They don't say you accept this truth based upon my personal authority. They are no personal authority. I discovered it, I understood it. You also can understand. I can only help you. If you also prepare your mind, you purify your mind. How to purify, I can help you. If you purify your mind, you also can get the revelation of God. Knowledge of God, you also can get it. So everybody has to have darshana of God, realization of God. Everybody has to get it. You don't have to accept God on the authority of me alone. Whole life you have to believe me, my words. Only after death this will become true. Until then you don't know. You have to live whole life by belief alone. But here you can have realization here only. Saguna Rupa or Nirguna Rupa you can have here only. So there these prophets have a recommending power, intercession, and they also claim. And it seems God has given them all power. Somewhere I have to search for these things. Biblical quotation I noted down. And he says, God has given me all power to the Son. No one knows who the Son is except the Father. I am reading out from the Luke, Gospel of Luke. And no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal. Not this, some other place. And he says, God has given me all authority to me only. Nobody goes except through Jesus. He says, nobody goes. God doesn't accept anybody's recommendation. Quran says repeatedly, you are worshipping all these stones. You think these are gods? They are not gods. After death, when you are made to stand in queue in front of the gate, so you require somebody to recommend to God. Because God doesn't see anything. God is only a second-hand person, only this person. These prophets alone are real intermediaries. So the Quran says that then you need somebody to recommend you to God so that He will send you to heaven. Who will have? You think these stones will come to you? All those non-Muslim gods, all those gods, Hindu gods, you are worshipping them. At the time when you are standing in queue, you pray to them, oh gods, we have prayed to you, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, we have prayed to you all our life. Please recommend us on our behalf. They say, who are you? We don't know. Get lost. Verbatim I am quoting. Who are you? We don't know. Get lost. This shows that they are false gods. False gods means they don't recommend you. You will be sent to eternal hell. So this aspect of God and other things we will discuss later. But here we are only discussing revelation. So this revelation is, they reveal to one person, and that one person claims and we don't know. But in Indian, I told you that Indian, even those possessors also, what they say, they don't claim intercession power. Second thing is, what they say, never against common morality in society. These people make against common morality. They make claims. Those who don't accept, you can go and rape them. You can go and kill them. You can go and kill them. God has given you. Therefore, you go and kill kafirs. And it is a God-given authority. They say, we are not doing on our own. We don't hate you. We are hating non-Muslims, non-Christians on our own. God has given, we are sincerely, humbly, out of devotion, we are following it. We don't hate you. We don't hate you, kafirs. Our Quran is telling we are following our God's word sincerely. If we don't follow our Allah's words, we will be sent to hell. Therefore, out of devotion, we are killing you. What do you say? You talk very piously, all criminal actions you do in the name of piousness. Piety, not piousness, piety we call it. So pious feeling, pious thoughts. So this is, you use the name of God, recommend all immoral activity, and they say, God said it, what can I do? How can I refuse? And one place, one Ramakrishna Math Sannyasi, God realization through reason. It is the name of the book. His name is Ishwarananda. He says, there have been revelations calling them to kill and rob and exploit. You will find revelations, this kind of revelation also. All revelations need not be pure. Taimur or somebody, what is his name? Taimur only came from Mongolia. Taimur or somebody, I think maybe tentatively let us take Taimur, probably Taimur only. He also, in a fit of that fitness, we call them like epileptic fits like. They say he will get into that mood. They say God has possessed. Allah has possessed him. In that mood, that foaming comes from his mouth and he falls down. In that mood, he will start sprattling in his subconscious mood, unconscious, semi-conscious mood. And whatever he says, his disciples will note down in that notebook and put it in a bag and then seal him. After he comes back into consciousness, whatever is written there in the notebook, he will follow it. Genghis Khan, Genghis Khan. That's why I told tentatively, Genghis Khan. You follow that. In that thing, which country you should attack, whom you should kill, all that is written there. And they say it is a God's advice, revelation. Go and kill them, you will be successful. So God's revelations come, all these things. In our Yoga Shastra, we have got a bhumika of the mind. Mudha, Kshipta, Vikshipta and Samahita. 4 stages of mind. Mudha means very dull and tamasic mode. Kshipta means disturbed mode. Vikshipta means highly disturbed mode. Samahita means ekagra and shanta mode. Mind has got 4 levels. So in every level you can get samadhi. In tamasic level also mind gets samadhi. Do you know that? Tamasic level also, a mind which is not purified. These days, people are recommending in the name of yoga meditation at any stage. Our Shastras always say purification is more important. Raga, Dvesha, Abhimana, Ahankara, Bidabeku. You have to give up. You have to purify your mind. In a purified state alone, the samadhi which comes in a purified mind alone will be real samadhi. Otherwise it is a andha samadhi, jada samadhi we call them. So in a moodha andre, in a such a tamasic state also you get samadhis. In that samadhi, your mind start imagining all wild dreams. You think that God is appearing and something is provoking you, is asking you to do, is asking you to kill somebody, asking you to rob somebody. And later when you come back to consciousness, God told me and I'll start doing it. Who are you to stop? God told me and I will do it. Vivekananda, regarding Prophet Muhammad, in his Raja Yoga, in one place he says, Prophet Muhammad is a